Hello Townies, Tricky Tracy here, and today we are answering the question, do custom names help you hide in Town of Salem? Let's get right to it. First thing you'll see here is the chart of the proportion of custom versus default names in the games that I've played. First thing you'll notice, really, is that the custom names, by a huge margin, outweigh the default names. In fact, 86.54% of names in the games I've played are custom names. Moving on to the next slide, you wonder if I actually changed anything, because this chart is very similar to what we were just looking at, but it's actually different. This is the proportion of people who died night one based on whether they had a custom name or a default name. And in fact, custom names represent 86.08% of night one deaths. So what does this mean for us? It means that our regular run-of-the-mill townies, Giles, Cotton, Anne, while they represent 13.46% of names in any given game, they represent 13.92% of night one deaths. Now, this is slightly higher than maybe what we might have expected. I mean, all things being equal, if they represent 13.5% of names, they should also represent 13.5% of deaths. So does that mean that evils target the default name characters more? And if so, is it a significant difference? And that's our question. That's the key word we're looking for here. Is it significant? So let's get started. So the first thing we do is set our null hypothesis. There's no real difference between the sample we've taken of people who die night one versus what we'll assume is a relatively good indicator of the population of 12.9 or 86% and a bit of custom names per game. And our alternate hypothesis, of there being just not H0. So we also plug in then the numbers that I worked out from my research, while also hoping that this works, while also assuming that we can stick one of these normal curves on top of it around a mean of about 12.9 and a standard deviation. And we can conclude from that the answer is no. Or rather, we don't quite say no, we fail to reject the null hypothesis, meaning that there is no real difference from what I've observed versus the population. What does this mean for us? Well, it means that there's no advantage nor disadvantage to choosing a custom name or to hiding behind a default name. So go ahead and choose whatever you want, because there's no real difference on whether you're going to survive the first night with or without. So guys, if you like this video, please give us a like. Remember that you're watching Tricky Tracy's channel, and also please subscribe. These videos really help the community and help us get some useful insights that help us play town better. And with that, play on.